What if I told you that everything you've been watching in WWE has been a complete lie? That the moment Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar stepped into that ring, they didn't just fight for a championship, they literally tore apart decades of wrestling tradition and spat in the face of every single fan who believed in fair competition. And here's the part that's going to make your blood boil. The company wanted it that way. They orchestrated chaos, they manufactured controversy, and they laughed all the way to the bank while we sat there like fools, arguing on social media about who was right and who was wrong. But I'm about to expose something that WWE never wanted you to figure out. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to question everything you thought you knew about professional wrestling. Drop a comment right now telling me if you think WWE has been playing us for years. Because what I'm about to reveal is going to shake the foundation of everything you believe about sports entertainment. Let me take you back to that night. The arena was electric, packed wall to wall with fans who paid their hard-earned money expecting to witness a classic wrestling match. Instead, what we got was an absolute demolition derby that left the entire wrestling world divided. Roman Reigns, the self-proclaimed tribal chief, the man who's held the WWE Universe hostage with his championship reign for over 1,000 days, came face-to-face with Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate, a man who doesn't play by anyone's rules except his own. These two titans weren't just fighting for gold, they were fighting for supremacy, for legacy, for the right to call themselves the most dominant force in sports entertainment history. But here's where things get absolutely insane, and I mean completely off the rails crazy. From the moment that bell rang, it was clear this wasn't going to be your typical WWE match. This was personal, this was visceral, this was two alpha males throwing everything they had at each other with zero regard for their own safety or anyone else's. The referee lost complete control within minutes, looking like a deer in headlights as these two monsters ignored every single rule in the book. Security tried to intervene and got tossed aside like rag dolls, their expensive suits getting torn and their pride getting shattered as they tumbled over barricades. Even WWE officials came rushing down that ramp trying to restore order. And they might as well have been invisible because neither Reigns nor Lesnar acknowledged their existence. It was like watching two forces of nature collide, and mere mortals had no business trying to stop it. The brutality was unlike anything we've seen in modern WWE, and I've been watching this product for over 2 decades. Steel chairs bent beyond recognition, twisted into abstract sculptures of violence, announce tables shattered into a million pieces, with monitors and equipment flying everywhere, like shrapnel. The ring itself became a weapon as these two behemoths used every inch of it to inflict pain. Lesnar hit Reigns with so many German suplexes that we all lost count, each one more devastating than the last, each one making the crowd gasp louder. Reigns responded with Superman punches that legitimately rocked Lesnar's head back and SPRs that would have ended any other competitor's career on the spot. But these two kept getting up, kept fighting, kept pushing each other beyond the limits of human endurance. The crowd was on their feet the entire time, torn between cheering for the spectacle and being genuinely concerned for the well-being of both performers. You could see it in their faces, that mixture of excitement and horror, the realization that they were witnessing something that might have gone too far. Now here's what really gets me fired up. And this is where I need you to pay close attention because this is the part WWE doesn't want trending on Twitter or blowing up on Reddit. This match, this brawl, this absolute war zone that unfolded in front of millions of viewers worldwide. It exposed the biggest hypocrisy in professional wrestling today. WWE has spent years, literally years, preaching about safe work environments, about protecting their superstars, about prioritizing health and wellness above everything else. They've implemented countless rules and regulations, created entire departments dedicated to performer safety, fined people for going off script, suspended wrestlers for the smallest infractions. They've held seminars, distributed handbooks, made everyone sign contracts with safety clauses. But when it comes to their biggest stars, when it comes to the matches that draw the most money and generate the most buzz, suddenly, all those rules go out the window like they never existed in the first place. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar were allowed. No. They were encouraged to tear each other apart because WWE knew it would get people talking. They knew fans would rush to social media within seconds to debate whether the match went too far. They knew wrestling journalists would write dozens of articles analyzing every moment, every spot, every controversial decision. They knew that controversy creates cash, and they were willing to sacrifice their own supposed principles to make that cash. And you know what the worst part is? We fell for it. Every single one of us. We gave them exactly what they wanted. We watched, we commented, we shared, we argued with strangers on the internet until 3 in the morning. And WWE executives sat in their corporate offices calculating the revenue this one match would generate for years to come through highlight packages and retrospectives and documentary features. They turned our outrage into dollar signs, and they did it so smoothly that most people didn't even realize they were being manipulated. The tensions that erupted from this, Brawl didn't just stay contained to that one night either. The fallout spread like wildfire through the entire WWE locker room, creating divisions that still exist to this day. Other wrestlers started questioning why they had to follow strict guidelines while Reigns and Lesnar got to operate like they were above the law, like they had diplomatic immunity from consequences. Younger talent wondered why they were told to work safe and protect their opponents when the company's top guys were out there delivering legitimate stiff shots that left visible welts and bruises. Injuries that couldn't be hidden by makeup or camera angles. The double standard became impossible to ignore, and it created a toxic environment where everyone felt like there were two separate sets of rules. One for the chosen few and another for everyone else. Imagine showing up to your job every day, following all the protocols, doing everything by the book, only to watch your coworkers break every rule and get rewarded for it. That's exactly what happened in WWE, and the resentment was palpable. Behind the scenes, reports started circulating about heated discussions between wrestlers and management, conversations that allegedly got so intense that voices were raised and doors were slammed. Some superstars allegedly threatened to walk out if they weren't given the same creative freedom that Reigns and Lesnar enjoyed, demanding equal treatment or else. Others demanded guaranteed protection in their contracts, clauses that would prevent them from being put in similar dangerous situations without their explicit consent. Veterans who'd been in the business for decades spoke up about how this kind of favoritism was destroying the culture they'd worked so hard to build. The WWE locker room, which had already been dealing with internal politics and power struggles over positioning and storylines, became even more fractured. Alliances shifted overnight, trust eroded like sand in the tide, and the company that once prided itself on being one big family started looking more like a dysfunctional corporation where only the biggest moneymakers mattered and everyone else was expendable. Let's talk about the fans for a second, because this is where things get really complicated and messy. The WWE universe has always been divided when it comes to Roman Reigns, split right down the middle like a civil war. Half the audience sees him as the rightful face of the company, a workhorse who's carried WWE on his back through some of its toughest years, through the pandemic, through declining ratings, through competition from other promotions. The other half views him as an overexposed, overpushed corporate champion who's been shoved down our throats regardless of whether we wanted him in that position. Someone who got opportunity after opportunity while more talented wrestlers got buried. Brock Lesnar doesn't generate much less controversy. Some fans appreciate his unique attraction status and his ability to make every appearance feel special. The way he brings that big fight feel to everything he does. Others resent his part-time schedule and the fact that he gets paid millions to show up a handful of times per year, while full-time wrestlers grind it out every single week, destroying their bodies for a fraction of the money. This brawl amplified all of those existing tensions and created new ones we didn't even know existed. Suddenly, fans weren't just debating who was the better wrestler or who deserved to be champion. They were questioning the entire structure of WWE, the way the company operates, the decisions being made at the highest levels by people who've never taken a bump in their lives. Message boards exploded with conspiracy theories about backstage politics, about who has stroked with management, about secret deals and handshake agreements. YouTube channels dedicated entire episodes to breaking down what really happened and what it meant for the future of professional wrestling, some running 2 or 3 hours long with frame-by-frame analysis. Wrestling Twitter became an absolute war zone, where every opinion was treated as a personal attack and every take was either the most brilliant analysis ever or complete garbage, with no middle ground whatsoever. Friendships ended over disagreements about this match. People blocked each other. Insults flew like missiles. It was chaos. Asterisk and WWE, they ate it up like a gourmet meal. Every single controversy, every heated debate, every angry comment section proved that their strategy was working perfectly, better than they could have imagined. Because here's the secret that entertainment companies figured out decades ago: it doesn't matter if people love what you're doing or hate what you're doing, as long as they're emotionally invested enough to keep watching and keep talking. WWE doesn't need everyone to cheer for Roman Reigns. They just need everyone to have an opinion about Roman Reigns, to care one way or another. They don't need fans to approve of Brock Lesnar's contract or his schedule. They just need fans to react when Brock Lesnar shows up, to pop or to boo or to do something. Engagement is engagement, whether it's positive or negative. And in the modern era of social media metrics and streaming numbers, engagement is literally all that matters to the people making decisions. Asterisk, think about it for a second. When was the last time WWE made a major decision based on what fans actually wanted instead of what would generate the most noise? When was the last time they listened to the audience instead of trying to manipulate the audience? The answer is probably never, or at least not in recent memory. This company has mastered the art of manufactured controversy, of creating situations that force people to pick sides and defend their positions like they're fighting a war. And we keep falling for it because deep down, we love the drama. We love having something to argue about. We love feeling like we're part of something bigger. even if that something bigger is just a cleverly orchestrated corporate strategy to keep us hooked. Asterisk the match itself, putting aside all the politics and controversy, was genuinely brutal and hard to watch at times. There were moments where it felt less like a wrestling match and more like a legitimate fight, where you questioned if these two actually liked each other or if years of real-life tension was boiling over. Lesnar's intensity was off the charts, his eyes wild with that look he gets when he's in full beast mode. Reigns matched that intensity, refusing to back down even when it seemed like the smart thing to do would be to retreat and regroup. The violence escalated with each exchange, building to a crescendo that left everyone exhausted, the performers and the audience alike. Asterisk medical staff had to check on both competitors multiple times throughout the chaos, trying to assess if anyone was seriously injured while the brawl continued around them. Camera operators struggled to capture all the action as it spilled into every corner of the arena. Commentary lost all composure, abandoning their scripted lines to just react authentically to what they were witnessing. The whole thing felt unpredictable and dangerous, which is exactly what WWE wanted us to feel. Asterisk, so where does this leave us? What are we supposed to do with all of this information? Are we supposed to stop watching WWE and protest, organize boycotts and refuse to buy merchandise? Are we supposed to keep supporting the product despite feeling manipulated and used? Are we supposed to just accept that this is how modern professional wrestling works and make peace with it? Admit that we're all just playing our roles in their game? Honestly, I don't have all the answers. And anyone who tells you they do is probably selling you something or pushing an agenda. But what I do know is that we as fans have more power than we realize. Our voices matter when we use them collectively. Our choices matter when we make them consciously. The way we spend our money and our time matters because that's the language corporations understand. Asterisk and maybe, just maybe, if enough of us demand better, demand consistency, demand respect for both the performers and the audience, things might actually start to change. Maybe if we hold WWE accountable instead of just accepting whatever they give us, they'll realize that treating us like mindless consumers isn't a sustainable, long-term strategy. Asterisk the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar brawl will be remembered as one of the most intense and controversial moments in recent WWE history. It gave us unforgettable action and sparked conversations that will continue for years. But it also revealed uncomfortable truths about the business we love. Truths that we can't ignore, no matter how spectacular the next match might be. It showed us that WWE is willing to compromise their stated values when money is on the line. It showed us that some wrestlers are more equal than others. It showed us that controversy is the goal, not the byproduct. Asterisk. So I want you to think about that the next time you watch WWE programming. Ask yourself what you're really watching and why. Ask yourself if you're being entertained or manipulated. Ask yourself if the product is serving you or if you're serving the product. Because until we start asking these hard questions and demanding honest answers, nothing is going to change. WWE will keep doing exactly what they're doing because it works. Because we let it work. Asterisk. If you made it this far, drop a comment and let me know your honest thoughts. Do you think WWE crossed the line with this match? Do you think Roman and Brock deserve special treatment? Or do you think I'm completely wrong and this is all just part of the show? Hit that like button if this video made you think differently about and subscribe because I'm going to keep bringing you content that challenges the narrative and asks the questions nobody else wants to ask. The wrestling world needs more honest conversations and fewer corporate talking points. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.